Hello, and welcome to the second annual DNVR Avalanche Fantasy Starting Lineup Draft for the NHL. Super excited to bring you another one of these as we got a lot of strong teams last year. I feel like, at least for AJ and a few of the others who are doing this for the second time, the process has been refined a little bit. I'm expecting some good teams out there. I'm expecting fewer snipes in the later rounds. So hopefully we get to see a strong performance from everyone. We're going to jump into it in just a second here. There will be 6 picks across 31 teams, all GM'd. Looking forward to it. Going to be interesting depending on where teams are, what their strategy is going to be. But either way, it should be a lot of fun. AJ, are you ready to do this thing?
I am.
All right, let's.
I have the 5th pick, so I'm in kind of a good spot, but kind of a weird spot where I'm gonna make an early pick. I'm gonna feel real good about it. I'm gonna watch 50 guys get taken off the board. I'm gonna feel less good about it.
Yeah, right, and then make 2 picks and 10 picks.
That's right.
It's gonna be wild. So, all right. I mean, we can bring up our draft board here. As you can see, the Detroit Red Wings have garnered the first overall pick in our purely random draft order. There was no sense to this. Just ended up this way. The only thing we rigged was AJ getting the Islanders, and that was before we knew the draft order.
Yep.
So, other than that, we're good to go. I didn't put up my green screen. Oh well, we can live without it. All right. I guess we're jumping into this. Let me get everything all set up here, and we'll have GMs start making their picks.
Yeah, so just a reminder, since I know a lot of our GMs are listening, try and make quick picks. We were talking 15 seconds.
Yep.
You have a ton of time to prepare for this. You've had a week to prepare for this. You'll have plenty of time in between picks to be ready. We don't want people sitting around, 2.5 minutes on a pick or whatever, because you just can't quite decide. You're not looking to do any of that. Be decisive. Let's make our picks. Let's do this thing.
We want to get in, get out. It's going to be long, even picking quickly. So
yeah, this was 2.5 hours last year. It should be much quicker this year. Making sure that everybody's ready to rock. Evan, I'm not telling you to be on time. I'm just telling you to be ready to rock.
All right. The Red Wings are on the clock. They come up to the podium. They're proud to select Nathan Mckinnon from the Halifax Mooseheads, going first overall. I don't think anyone should be too surprised by this. There were a couple of contenders for the first overall pick, certainly. Yeah. But look, this is an Avs channel. This is an Avs Discord server. I think we could have seen this coming, perhaps.
It sure feels like, when you're, because we are considering things like salary cap and age and all of that, it just seems like McKinnon's the obvious choice. McDavid is great. He's an unbelievable player, but his cap hit for the next couple of years is double McKinnon's. Yep. That's not if it was 1 year, if we were down to the final year, it could be a little bit of a different conversation, but.
And to follow up, just no surprise from the Ducks. Immediately slam dunking Connor McDavid at second overall.
Yeah, the McDavid at 2 just seems, the Ducks get the luck that they didn't have when they got second in the Crosby draft.
Yep.
There isn't quite as big a drop from Crosby to Bobby Ryan. Or from McKinnon to McDavid as there was from Crosby to Bobby Ryan.
For sure.
Pretty good start to that franchise.
Feeling better, for sure. Feeling better than Bobby Ryan. And Dallas follows up with the second player coming from Edmonton, 3rd overall, taking Leon Draisaitl. Did just win the Hart Trophy, so not too much to complain about there. There's an argument certainly for Crosby here at 3, probably, but it's Draisaitl's in the conversation.
Yeah, he absolutely is, man. I mean, What are you going to say?
And the Coyotes immediately snap up Crosby before I can even tell them they're on the clock. They knew exactly what they wanted. All right. Excellent. We're moving right along. You love to see it. I'm going to struggle to keep up. I can tell you all that right now.
Lorem Ipsum. He's good.
Yeah, the old default. You hate to see the old default text, but okay, come on now. Don't do this to me. Am I allowed to select this? All right, we'll just YOLO it like this. All right, it's fine.
Well, I mean, four centers at the top
True.
of this.
Center, right off the bat.
And I really was struggling with an approach, how I wanted to do it. Do I want a defenseman to start my franchise?
Do you?
I don't.
You were high on defensemen last year too. I remember that. So, AJ, you're on the clock.
I'm taking Austin Matthews.
He's going with Austin Matthews. There's a big debate in the weeks leading up to this about where Austin Matthews should rank overall as a center in this league. AJ certainly believes he's a top 5 center.
He's an elite goal scorer. For my money, he's a top 5. He's one of the top 5 goal scorers in the NHL. The Cy Young numbers have gotten better each year, and it's on me to put the kind of wing talent around him that can get the best out of him. But I think he's amazing, and at his age, I'm set for a long, long time. I'm not even worrying about it. I will tell you, it really hurt my heart to pass on Cale Makar.
I believe it. I don't think he's going much further, to be honest, from what I've heard in the chatter. And we have our first winger off the board going to St. Louis, Nikita Kucherov. I mean, if you're going to take a winger, that's the one to take.
Is it?
That's the one I'd take. I'll put it that way. Would you do something crazy and take Svetch?
No. But today, I would be just as tempted by Panarin as I would be Kucherov.
Panarin? Yeah. Expensive contract, to say the least. But
definitely. And that's good. Considering that, definitely you have to say that Kucherov is a more appealing,
for sure,
option when if you're going to get an elite talent, no matter what, you might as well get the more cost efficient option. Which is where I kicked it down. I said I don't care.
So there are our first 6 picks: McKinnon, McDavid, Draisaitl, Crosby, Matthews, and Kucherov. Moving on.
5 centers and a wing.
5 centers and a wing. No defenseman yet. The Buffalo Sabres, though, do take the first defenseman. And it is indeed the Avalanche man himself, Cale Makar, going 7th overall.
Just for sake of comparison, Makar was drafted with the 15th pick of the second round last year.
So moved up.
I remember because I had the 16th pick.
Oh, jobbed. Moved up over 30 spots. That would be about 37 spots. We are now moving on to Calgary. Calgary taking the old man, going with the elite goal scorer himself, Alex Ovechkin, now a Calgary Flame. From a very similar player to Jerome McGinley, interestingly, in a lot of ways.
Yeah. But elite goal scorers, power forwards, wore red their whole careers.
True. Even the red color. Good call.
That's interesting. That's an interesting pick.
Our second winger.
Yeah. Boy, like this one.
And there goes the third winger immediately after Ovechkin, the Panarin pick AJ was talking about. Panarin now a Predator. The Predators getting away from their picking centers, rather.
I mean, Kyle Turris was both.
True.
Yeah, Matt Duchene was both. I think you had it.
Centers from the Senators go to the Predators. Okay, I see.
That's right. So this is Evan's pick.
Yep.
He was too much of a coward to jump on to voice chat to talk about his GM strategy with us. So
he was scared to talk about his logo picks too, and then he crushed me in that. So the youngster center here coming out from Tampa Bay, Braden Point. I think that's a good pick.
It's interesting.
You think 10's a little high?
You're definitely banking on him taking that big step forward and maintaining it for a long time.
That's true.
Because I mean, you've got Jack Eichel, Elias Pedersen, Patrick Kane, Sebastian Aho, all sitting there. You know, David Pastrnak still sitting there. So tough to, it's tough to parse all that talent. Braden Point being as young as he is, I think certainly represents major upside. So I put no criticism of it. It's just it's just interesting, the evaluation.
Our picks are flying in here. Toronto goes with the first overall defenseman in Dalling, and it's followed up by Boston taking Jack Eichel.
I think Jack, had you told our Boston GM that at 12 he was going to get Jack Eichel, he had to feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, got to feel pretty happy.
I tell you, I took Elias Pedersen last year at 16 in the first round, and I didn't think he was going to get anywhere close to that in this year's version. Mm-hmm. And even if he's taken with the next pick, that's the 13th pick, so not a major jump. If he gets taken,
we'll see. Wow. And there goes the pasta machine. He gone. Going to Pittsburgh. Boston fans will hate to see that.
Yeah. Getting Jack Eichel, he goes back home, but watching Pastrnak go to the Pens, bad feels.
Yeah, definitely not going to feel great. Montreal, you are on the clock. What do you got for us? As I am just managing to keep up so far. We're doing okay.
This is an unreal pick to me.
I haven't even seen it yet. Oh, the Hedman pick. The head going in, and I mean, is there a conversation about Yossi here too, or that new contract that he's not getting? I mean, Hedman isn't exactly young either.
Yeah, I mean, Hedman is what we would consider middle-aged, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But he's on a contract that will age as well as he has so far. I don't think we'll ever look at Victor Hedman's contract and think, "Oh my god."
That's
Whereas
true.
that Roman Yossi deal
could get ugly at the end. Yeah,
he $9 million going into your 30s. That's a guy that just has to continue to be insane. He has to continue to be a top 5 defenseman throughout his 30s for you to get value out of that.
Yep. And when you look at play styles, I think you lean towards Hedman aging a bit better than Yossi, probably, just in general.
I think Hedman is clearly a better defenseman, like a better defender in his own zone.
Yeah.
Offensively, I like Yossi's game, but I wonder how it ages.
Same.
I'm not 100% sold.
And we have the Florida Panther going off the board. Nathan McKinnon second in command. Sasha Barkov going to the Rangers.
We stop for a minute just to appreciate that 2013 draft.
That draft is sick. Like
we talk about 2015, how it's an all-time great draft. But every year when we get into the top 5, we're like, look, every top 5 has its misses, has its busts, has its guys that don't live up to potential.
Yep.
And then you look at the 2013 top 5 and you're like, Jonathan Drouin is the biggest bust in there. And he's like a surefire 50-point
solid
guy.
Top 6 player. Yeah.
Yeah, like he's definitely a disappointment relative to draft hype. But oh my gosh. he's still a fine player.
No argument there. The much younger Elias Pedersen going to Minnesota with that next pick. I don't know. How much of a believer are you in Pedersen? Like, obviously, he's a legit high-end player, but where would you rank him?
Wow, he goes 16th overall.
Yeah, it felt high to me.
That's I took a chance on him last year at 16. I felt I overdrafted him a little bit.
Feel more comfortable with it. Yeah.
And he had a great year. To be honest with you, I definitely would have taken him over Barkov. I definitely would have taken him over Pasternak and Ovechkin.
Oh, did I linked the wrong person? My bad. My bad. I meant to say Jets. I see. I see what happened. I typed in Jets and the J messed me up. Apologies. There we go. Matt Barzal going to Winnipeg at 17. This is we're kind of in the murderer's row of the Central Division right here, aren't we? Minnesota, Winnipeg, Chicago, all picking back to back to back.
Yeah, we get to see what kind of talent comes to this division. No, just one T.
It is one?
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that. All right, Chicago, who you taking?
This is our guy Michael Harrison.
Yep.
Who has whined incessantly not only about the team that he got, but his draft position. So I take his selection of Andrei Svechnikov as a personal shot.
Hell bent on making AJ mad.
Yeah.
Is Evgeny spelled with a Y or an I?
He's Andre. So
he's on. Oh, that's his brother. My bad.
Yeah.
Same. I mean, it could still be. It's spelled with an I, right?
It's both.
Okay. And you don't want to draft his brother. Definitely don't do that.
Yeah, we're assuming that was Andre.
All right. Ottawa is taking Aho at 19th overall. Are there better options out there? I don't know.
Than Aho at this point?
This is where it gets murky, I think. You have a pretty solid top 10, top 15 of the league, and then what?
Well, it kind of really depends. Like, do you want Aho, or would you rather take a chance on breakout in a guy like Zibanejad? Would you rather take a chance on the younger talent, but he's already making a ton of money in Mitch Marner? Do you want to go with the established older guy who is nails every single year in Malkin? Like, there are arguments for any of those guys. So, it's really just how you feeling. And I think this pick, Heiskanen, what number are we on? 20?
20.
Of course, it's Dayton. Yeah, Heiskanen at 20. I mean, look at all the wings that have gone ahead of him. Of these franchise caliber defensemen that we've been talking about.
Our third defenseman taken, fourth, Dahlin, Hedman, and Heiskanen. There's only been 4 defensemen in the top 20 picks.
Yeah.
And we have our third going off the board here with Rantanen at 21.
That's how you know these are a bunch of Avs fans.
Yeah, look, I love Mikko, but 21 feels a touch high.
Yeah. I mean, when you're talking about the caliber of defensemen that are still sitting there.
Yep. The dude who just won the Norris this year is still out there. And there goes the first goalie.
I was curious when that would happen.
Yeah, Vegas taking Vasilevsky.
Because last year we had goalies ended up dotting the first round.
Yep.
Which created kind of a panic for everybody else in rounds 2 and 3, where it was like
the run began. Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't get one, all of a sudden you're taking a backup. And I was like, oh man, do you want to roll the dice with that guy?
We'll see. We'll see if it happens again this year.
Vasilevsky, I think the player is fine. But when you consider the contract situation, I think Vasilevsky would probably be third on my goaltender board behind Gibson and Hellebuck.
Yeah. The Avs Playing out the ultimate what if here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Seth Jones again, like Seth Jones, 5.4 million for the next 2 years.
Yeah, very good contract for the next couple of years.
Great value for you, a guy that does a little bit of everything. The underlying numbers are surprisingly iffy.
Yep.
They aren't great. But you think about the situations that he plays in. Guy is
nails.
He just does it all. Yeah, just does it all for them.
Zibanejad going off the board. Now a Vancouver Canuck.
Zibanejad, I'll tell you, Zibanejad here feels like somebody that really wants center. Was like, I want to build around us. I want a center to build around. Because there are better defensemen available, and there are certainly, you could have gone with one of those other 2 goaltenders, and I think would have been a little better value. And with the wings that are still sitting there, I mean, Mitch Marner is still sitting on the board. Mark Stone is still there. Those are some really, really. I mean, Patrick Laine. We're pushing towards the end of the first round, and this generation's best goal scorer, arguably could be the best goal scorer of this upcoming generation, next to Austin Matthews, is Patrick Laine, and he hadn't been taken yet.
It hasn't even really been a consideration. I mean, we haven't even had that many wings.
Right. We've had more wings than I thought, and it's still not that many.
Yeah, Kucherov, Ovi, Panarin, Pasternak, I guess Svech too,
and Rantanen.
Yeah, so that's a decent amount. Surprised to see that many ahead of defensemen, but
that's my big surprise so far, is the defensemen that have not that are still sitting around. I mean, you look at John Carlson, Quinn Hughes, Roman Josi, Dougie Hamilton, Alex Pietrangelo, Erik Karlsson still sitting around. There are some Drew Doughty, some good players.
Yeah, for real.
As much as I want to hate on Drew Doughty,
he's still solid. There goes another goaltender.
Oh, Hellebuck's a good choice, man.
Connor Hellebuck. I think that's the right way to spell his Connor.
His Connor.
There's so many different Connors in the league. 1 N, 2 N's, an E instead of an O.
Yeah. Z approves of Florida's selection, by the way.
I imagine so. We're going to have to ask her about the final Jets team as well. But all right. So next up is the Oilers.
Who did the Jets take to get started?
Oh,
Matt Barzal.
Yeah. AJ's happy about that. Yeah.
I will take that.
And I believe I am currently filling in for the Oilers. My plan was to take Hellebuck, so I got sniped on that.
Well done.
But I suppose we just do the goalie run here, and I'm gonna take my goalie forever in John Gibson as the Oilers and solve their eternal goaltender problem hereforth forever.
Yeah. Now their problem moving forward will be they can't find any centers.
Indeed. All right. Got to update my draft board a little bit here. Oh, we had Zibanejad, Hellebuck, and Gibson.
Do appreciate you filling in for a GM spot. A pox upon the house of whoever did not show up.
Slackers. All over.
I'm sure somebody just had a thing going on.
Oh yeah, stuff happens. We understand.
That's how it goes.
Yep. Washington is taking Mark Scheifele. Interesting.
I like this one a lot.
Yep.
This was, if I was going to go a center, this was one of the better ones left, and I definitely would have taken him ahead of Zibanejad.
And the Flyers sprint to the podium to take John Carlson.
Have to be happy with that.
Yeah,
I think
getting in that late.
The next wave of centers, I think, is going to be fascinating here, because you start to get into those guys that might be considered more really good 2Cs than 1Cs. You know, you get into a Ryan O'Reilly, the the other guy that I'm thinking of, Anze Kopitar, Sean Couturier, Bo Horvat, those types of guys, I think start to become a consideration. I don't see Malkin anywhere.
Malkin has not been picked yet, indeed.
And that's, age.
Prater has not been picked either. Mitchell Marner going to Tampa Bay.
It's a good fit. He'll do just fine under John Cooper.
Yep. Sharks with pick 29, going for a defenseman, taking AJ's favorite, Dougie Hamilton.
Really, 1 year left on his deal. He's gonna get so much money.
He's
so
going to get
good.
paid.
People underestimate that guy like crazy.
Who did I forget in this order? I definitely forgot someone. Oh, no, I didn't. Am I stupid? Hold on. I forgot to put a pick in this list. Who did I forget? Technical difficulties, please.
Yeah, who got skipped here?
6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 31. Who hasn't picked? I know Columbus still has to pick.
31 is Columbus. We only have 31.
Yeah. So we're good. Oh yeah, we're good. I'm stupid.
Nice.
I forgot to put someone in the list. Is all. I'll figure that out in a second. Go ahead, Columbus.
Back-to-back picks.
Yep.
Tough draw, but when you look at the draft board that's still sitting here, you can easily get a couple of defensemen if you wanted. You could still get a really good center and a defenseman, and you're not feeling like I drafted at the end.
Yeah. Okay. Columbus,
Nice.
with their first pick, goes Mark Stone. And with their second pick, goes someone else.
Fascinating career Mark Stone has had, honestly.
Yep.
The fifth round pick that just sort of works his way to being truly, truly elite. Where you're like, how is it that this guy lasted as long as he did? The guy just continued to work at his game, just got better and better and better. And you can't scout a guy like that.
For sure. When they have players that have that longer trajectory, it's just so tough.
Yeah. Well, and I think about Mark Stone and I think about Nikolai Kovalenko, where the defensive game is so mature. The effort is there. The work is there. You love so many different things about what he does. He's such a smart player. And it's like, look, if he ever developed a killer shot or a little bit of extra creativity, on offense, like you think about Kovalenko could be the next Mark Stone.
And then he follows up by going with the young Russian in net. And Shesterkin.
I think that's the first whoa pick that we've had.
I would agree. Something a little out there.
Leave it to Columbus after their draft performance this year. Mr. Chinikov.
Right. Just nuts. Sean Couturier at 33. I think that's an incredible pick for the Sharks.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to start your roster and you have Sean Couturier and Dougie Hamilton. You have some injury questions, but otherwise you're feeling really good about it.
If you're healthy, ain't nobody scoring on you.
That's a really good makings to a top power play unit right there.
Yep.
Because Dougie is one of the best power play defensemen in the league.
Yep.
Just doesn't get talked about it like that very often.
Tampa Bay on the clock. They already have Mitch Marner to lead the team. They're walking to the podium now.
Woo!
The expensive defenseman.
I tell you, this is interesting to me because I took Alex Pietrangelo in the 5th round last year. Now, he was 1 year from free agency, so there was a bit of a concern.
Now signed forever, but expensive
Right.
forever as
Yeah,
well.
that's the thing. Now he's signed through his 30s at $8.8 million. I don't know how much better I feel about it. It's great that he signed. You'll probably enjoy him for the next 4 years, but after that, you're really, really rolling the dice.
Huberdeau coming off the board to Philadelphia.
This is interesting because Huberdeau has had a great couple of years, but you don't really think of him as like a foundational piece. And when you don't have a center,
Yeah.
starting your forward core with that guy and John Carlson, it's interesting.
Could be. It doesn't feel like you have a super duper ultra high end talent there yet, really. But
Good guys.
Yep.
Huberdeau, great value though, I will say. 3 more years of $5.9 million on that contract. The way that he's played the last couple of years, really good value.
And there goes Roman Josi in the 2nd round as the Norris winner.
Mark Scheifele and Roman Josi, when you're drafting at the end of the 1st round, is a hell of a way to build a team.
Yeah, you got to be feeling pretty good if you're Washington right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, we're back to the Oilers. Is technically me. I am definitely 100% prepared. Oh yeah, this is easy. One Malkin, please.
Okay. Well, I guess now that they have a center and a goaltender, now what do you whine about, Oilers fans?
Yeah, right.
You've never had a defense, so it doesn't matter.
That's normal. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't
Ooh,
believe
Patrick Kane in the 2nd round. Interesting.
Connor Hellebuyck and Patrick Kane is a. I feel like, and I have no basis for this whatsoever, but I feel like Connor Hellebuyck would beat him up.
Would not be friends.
Yeah. I just feel like they would see each other in the locker room, and it would be like Rams locking horns. They would just hate each other.
All right. Canucks. Slam dunking Patrick Laine.
So
there it goes.
Zibanejad.
A lot of goal scorers there.
Yeah, it's 40 goals, and then Patrick Laine. That's... Boy. I will tell you, that's a combination that in 2 years is going to look a lot different because they are both due pretty significant raises.
Yep. That's true.
You're feeling good about the players, but you're going to have to spend a lot more money on them real soon.
Avalanche going with PLD as their center.
That's interesting.
Team Avalanche are living up to the Columbus West hype right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're taking this way seriously, okay? If Cam Atkinson's your next pick, we got to talk. PLD is...
Oh, that's the wrong guy. I see. I got baited. My bad. Someone tried to pick out of order. Not PLD. Patrice Bergeron instead.
Did you just write Patrick?
I did. E. There you go.
There you go.
Struggling.
Yahtzee.
Apologies. It was a fake out. Patrice is an interesting one because he is not young.
Yeah, that's one where you're thinking, I mean, he's still a number 1 center, but between health and age and, how much longer does he have? If he ends up having 3 or 4 years, you love this pick. If it's just 1 year, if we were doing a full roster, you would really want to buoy that with a younger guy.
For sure.
That's a team that you would say if we were going to continue to build out the whole roster, that's a team that should look at a guy like Jack Hughes. Or
That
Nico
would be
Hischier.
Yeah.
Where you look at this guy's your second line center now, but if he flips the switch, turns it on, and becomes the man.
All right. Well, Kings, you got away with it. The man you wanted to pick fell to you, as Vegas ends up taking Willie Nylander.
So this I think is I'm having a hard time with this one. You get a goalie, great. You're going to build from the back to the front, and then you get William Nylander. Like, you don't have a franchise center, you don't have a franchise defenseman. You invested all the money in the goaltender. Going with a wing next is just sort of feels like, what's the plan?
It still feels like there's some super high-end defensemen out there, man.
Yep. Because I have a pick in this, I don't want to talk too much about it.
I see. Speaking
but
of
there are 3 guys that No.
It's MC.
Yeah.
All right, I'll fix it. Hang on. Got to keep this draft rolling. All right, there we go.
McAvoy there. I mean, Heiskanen and McAvoy, you're set. This is old school Devils right here. This is modern day Niedermeyer Stevens. I'm not surprised Dayton is the one building that roster.
Well, I know AJ wanted that guy.
Oh, I had no illusions he was going to get to me. So
staying in, is that our first pick of the team they actually play for?
It might be.
As Chabot.
Aho and Chabot as your start. Boy, that feels good.
Yeah. Cygnus looks like he got pick sniped.
Yeah, he got sniped. So I'm liking the Thomas Chabot pick quite a bit. This is what happens when you try and make it personal. Hope you learned your lesson, Michael.
All right. Chicago's got to scramble.
Okay, so I was wondering when this was going to happen.
Yeah. Falling a little bit, perhaps because of the Colorado bias, maybe.
Well, I wonder like if Vancouver fans were doing this, where Hughes gets taken versus where McCarr gets taken.
Would McCarr get taken around here or something?
I'm blown away that Quinn Hughes made it out of the first round. That's insane to me.
I think that's pretty crazy. If you're taking McCarr at 7, like Quinn Hughes isn't a full round worse than that, dude.
Yeah. Straight up.
Minnesota on the clock. Or sorry, nope, I'm wrong. Not Minnesota. Jets on the clock. I'm struggling with the Jets. I've messed them up on the first round. Almost messed them up in this round. Winnipeg's just forgettable. Sorry.
Listen,
I hope AJ's wearing headphones.
I'm gonna need you to walk that back. I am wearing headphones, but I am offended by that. I don't know if you heard that in the background.
I did.
I might need to be finding a new podcast partner this week.
Oh boy, I'm off the pod. Werenski going to Winnipeg.
So it's a really offensive tilt here.
Yep.
Barzal and Werenski. That's a really offensive tilt. It's hard to criticize. I don't know what to say.
Good players.
Okay. Werenski. None of these guys are. I think we're going to be there for me at the end of round 2.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that one annoys me.
You thought you had a chance at Provorov?
He's one of four guys that I have my eye on.
I see. So down to 3 now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's still out there as well. There's still some decent centers.
Yeah. This is where when you're doing an entire roster, it would be different because you could look at stacking centers.
For sure.
You could
get 2 or 3 centers, like a Crosby Malkin situation, for sure.
Right, where if I was allowed to take another center right now, the guy that I would be honing in on would be Ryan O'Reilly.
Yeah, a hard defensive type guy. Yeah,
exactly.
Sure.
Because then I could have Matthews and O'Reilly anchoring my forward core, and I would be thrilled.
Yep.
For the next decade, I'm not even worrying about it.
Brady going ahead of Matthew Tkachuk.
Yeah, that's one where it doesn't make sense to me. Matthew's significantly better, and Brady, you're hoping gets to Matthew's level. The thing is that Brady isn't in the same caliber of douche nozzle that Matthew is. So
True.
He's more likable, but it's not like he doesn't still have that same Tkachuk-ish vibe.
And the brothers do go back to back.
See, Matt Tkachuk was my second round pick in the middle last year.
Yep, it's Tkachuk is not with the second season out there. Yep. We should have a tally of how many of these names I spelled wrong at the end of the draft. All right, Tkachuk going to the Canadiens. Next up is the Penguins. Teams are, you're starting to get vibes from teams a little bit now.
Yeah, definitely. There are some teams where you're feeling like, Hedman and Tkachuk.
That's not a fun team to play against.
Right, but it's the same problem that Montreal always has where they don't have a center.
True.
Now, again, this is where oh, that one hurts me. That's a deep cut to me.
I thought so.
This is where now if you waited on a center, you can because other people won't take a second one because we can't take a second one. So they're in a position where they can just sit.
Yep.
Where now Montreal can kind of play the strategy
wrong.
of the board where we could get into the 6th round and he hasn't taken a center yet, but because none of us are allowed to take one, there's a guy like JT still sitting out there that nobody's drafted.
Yep.
Or there's a Kopitar, there's a Kuznetsov, Nick Backstrom, Bo Horvat.
For sure.
Those guys could all still be sitting there because the rest of us took the centers already. But in a real full roster sim, we would be talking about those guys would all be gone.
Yeah, a dozen more centers would be taken, right?
We all would have built around those guys.
All right. Getting into the later stages of the second round here. This is where gem picks are made, I think.
Yeah, this is where last year I felt like my roster came together, where I really, really, because my second and third round picks last year were Matt Tkachuk and Andrei Svechnikov. And so I ended up with a really good group of forwards that I was very comfortable with, that I would have gone to war with every night.
The Maple Leafs going DD here.
John Klingberg, huh? I've never quite known what to make of that guy.
The offense is nice.
Yeah, it's been not great, but it's been really good his whole career.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Really good his whole career. All right, Evan.
I'm surprised with the way that the high end D weighted, that this round everybody was like defenseman.
Wait so long, right?
Yeah.
Evan, not confident in that pick. But he's taken Jacob Slavin.
This is a good pick. I mean, you look at you look at some of the D that have been taken. I mean, I would take Slavin over Klingberg, like for example. You know, he's such a good two-way guy, and defensively he's exceptional. He doesn't have it as much offensively. Well, he's okay offensively, but he's so good defensively that the offense that he gives you, you feel great with.
Predators now.
Yeah, and when you build, so this is these teams that we have coming up who used high picks on wings.
Yeah,
it's going to be interesting because there are still two premium positions that you have to fill, and after that pick, they still have two premium positions to fill. But Artemi Panarin on the left and Blake Wheeler on the right, whatever guy you end up in the middle is going to be fed a lot of pucks. That's for sure.
Have that guy shoot for you.
Yeah, like that's one where it's like, okay, well, maybe you take Nazem Kadri because all he does is shoot.
Make it work. You got to build a team.
Yeah.
Wow. Alex Ovechkin and Steven Stamkos on the same team.
Yeah, this one's interesting just because of, the injuries with Stamkos have piled up so much the last couple of years that he's easy to forget.
Well,
consider that Braden Point went in the top 10 and Steven Stamkos goes at the end of the second round.
If this was 2009, Calgary is running away with this draft, but
yeah.
All right.
They're still gonna score a lot of goals next year.
True. On to the Sabres as we're into the top 7 or last 7 rather, I should say, picks of the second round.
I need to start figuring out what I want to do.
Yeah, you're coming up shortly here. Brad Francis, the well-known Brad Francis, on the clock as the Sabres GM. Rumor has it he's actually his war room is using a computer on a toaster. So Jake Gensel. I don't know about that one. I don't know about that pick. Solid guy, but the second round, I don't know. I don't know if I'm sold at all on Jake Gensel. AJ may prove me wrong tomorrow when we break down teams, but for now,
it's interesting. Who was his first pick? Was Makar?
Yeah,
Makar Gensel. Again, I wonder what the plan is. If the plan is to take advantage of our format because you can wait on centers, then
well played. Indeed.
Yeah.
And there goes Sir Trader.
You consider how like just the name recognition of those two on to start a roster.
Yep. You're feeling pretty good.
You're feeling great. You get into year 4 and these guys have 4 more years of age on them and you start to wonder about them a little bit, but who cares? That's such a great start, right?
Yeah, you got to feel excellent. AJ, who you got?
You got to give me a minute. I'm
telling everybody to hurry up, and he's over here slacking.
Yeah, I'm kind of iffy on a couple of dudes that I think I can wait on.
He's trying to, because you have another pick coming up in 10 picks, so
yeah, exactly.
That's true. Gotta get your value.
Yeah. Boy, I really wish I could take O'Reilly right now.
Shouldn't have took Matthews, I guess.
Yeah, no kidding, huh? I'm gonna go with defense.
He's going D.
Yeah. Give me Ryan Ellis.
Ryan Ellis, the other side of Nashville. Certainly going to get consistency there.
Yeah, and he's one of my favorites.
Well,
Felt like there
beat me
was
to it.
way too many in between options for me here.
There's something deeply wrong about putting Brad Marchand and Sidney Crosby on the same team.
I thought about him, but again, it's really just the age that kind of has me where I am.
Samsonov, the goalie, coming off the board.
Huh.
Yeah. It feels like there's still some quality goalies out there, too. Some high-ranked goalies based on the goalies we looked at the other week.
Yeah, it's been you can tell people are planning for the future because Hart, Shesterkin, Samsonov have all gone.
Yeah.
And those are, Hellebuck and Vasilevsky and Gibson. All those guys are in their 20s. Every single one of them.
Yep.
So none of the guys who have taken a goalie so far are thinking they have to worry about that position at all. I already know what I'm doing in goal, so I'm good.
I forgot to put Gensel on this list. Hang on. AJ's got a plan that he's not worried about.
Yep.
The Ducks are on the board. So we wait for them. Who they will choose, we will see.
Yeah, where did they start?
Oh yeah, my bad. Should move it back.
Oh, they got McDavid, of course.
Yep. Yeah, wait, second overall.
We're
Makes sense.
We're
Right?
at the very top now.
Yeah, right. The obvious ones.
Yeah.
Morgan Riley on defense. That's a team that needs a goal scorer, I think. And we're all the way back around to the Red Wings for the last pick of the second round. Is it IE? Yeah, it is. Rest in peace. Eddie, where you at? Make your pick.
Yeah. Eddie has back-to-back picks here.
Yep. Torrey Krug goes with one of them.
Yeah. I think Torrey Krug is who I should have taken.
Krug over Ellis, yeah.
Having Ryan Ellis buyer's remorse.
And with his next pick, he takes someone.
Yeah, well, he's taking longer to pick because he has to write out the guy's biography in order to select him.
Indeed. It sure seems like he needs to know everything about them.
Yeah.
Robin Lehner in goal.
Strongly considered him with my pick.
Yeah, I think that's a good goalie value there at the top of the third round. Back to the Ducks as we dive into the third round. Oh, happy birthday, A-Wolf. Just seeing that now.
Oh, yeah. I totally forgot to look at comments today. I'm too busy flipping through the draft floor.
A lot of behind-the-scenes stuff going on in a stream like this.
Oh, man. Robin Lehner tweeting that he was going to beat up Jake Paul was great. I loved all the athletes who were like, you picked on the smallest NBA player you could find. And, you know, like, I'll always remember Nate Robinson because he always thought he was, like, such a badass when he was in the NBA.
Yeah.
And, like, you have to be a bit of a bad dude to be, like, 5'8" in the NBA and win a dunk contest. You got to be some sort of explosive in terms of jumping. But it clearly doesn't make you good at throwing hands because he got his ass kicked by a YouTube star.
Yeah. Ooh. This is not a good pick for me.
You know, I tell you, Binnington got picked at the top of the second round last year. He gets picked at the top of the third round this year. And I thought both times he got drafted too highly.
Yep.
When you consider the other goaltenders on the list, like Binnington is interesting because of his age, right?
Yeah, sure.
If he bounces back and you're feeling good about him, he's 27 years old, and you're like, we got this guy for like 5 more years.
If he's the guy he was in the first year of his career, first year of his NHL career, if he's that guy, slam dunk pick. But
definitely, where you're feeling like the only concern is that you have 2 absolutely atrocious defensive players in front of him in McDavid and Riley. Sergachev is the other guy that I had buyer's remorse on, where I was kind of wishing I had gone with that guy.
Seeing Sergachev go in the third round, that feels really good value for Dallas.
The thing with Sergachev that makes me apprehensive on him is that he's not very good defensively yet. Sure. He's getting better, but he's still not quite there.
I mean, you want someone good defensively, there's Aaron Ekblad.
Yeah, well, he's right-handed. I'm not allowed to take those guys anymore. I already have a righty D in Ryan Ellis.
But you could have had Ekblad instead of Ellis. I guess Ellis is solid defensively, though. I can't.
Yeah, Ellis is better, so I'm happy with that. My third pick, I'm taking Nikolai Ehlers.
Ehlers.
Yep.
All right. That is a good pick. I think
that guy flying up the wall and feeding pucks to Austin Matthews.
Yeah. All right. You guys know it's your turn. Feel free. You don't have to wait for me to at you.
And to answer the draft floor question, yes. If you draft a lefty, don't draft 2 lefties unless you know that they play on the right side.
Unless
like
you
Nate
can
Schmidt
prove.
Plays on the right side. But otherwise, if you're drafting a right-handed defenseman, don't draft 2 right-handed defensemen. Like try and stick to that. Otherwise, I would not have just taken Ehlers. I would have done something else.
Bro, coming off the board.
If Johnny Gaudreau hadn't fallen so hard in the last 12 months, I would have considered. But I'm legit shook that he can't seem to show up at all.
To get out of his own head, yeah.
Yeah. And whereas Ehlers was coming off of a great playoffs where he was their best player because Scheifele and Laine got hurt. And Kyle Connor completely disappeared.
Yep.
And Kyle Connor is not good defensively.
Sabres with Makar and Gensel. I feel like you need a unifying pick here. Something to put this team together.
Yeah. I wonder, is this another wing pick? So we continue to scratch our heads? Oh, okay.
Kemper and goal is a good one.
Yeah, I like it. I question going with Kemper over a center because again,
that's
don't
where
have
I'm
a center.
at too. Like, is the goalie value there?
Because of how this is going, you know, where are it's going to be another 30, 40 picks before they're on the clock again.
Yep.
But again, because of the rules that we have in place, you can kind of game the system a little bit, which kind of sucks, but
And O'Reilly goes to Calgary, signs that offer sheet, and actually goes in the end.
Okay, so now we have sort of an issue there because what position does Steven Stamkos play?
Yeah, Steven Stamkos is really a center, but
do we want to allow it or do we want to veto that?
We can veto if you want. Should we veto?
It's Stamkos. Stamkos is a center, right?
Yeah, that's fine. All right. Flames, you need to repick.
Yeah. Just don't take Pareka. That'd be messed up.
That's not it. At Peg City Avs.
Yeah, he might be in a fantasy league, but the guy's a center.
He plays center, and we are the law around here, so sorry.
Give me a sec.
AJ's going to go look up his minutes on the wing. That's what's going to happen right now.
We'll do that.
He says William Karlsson. If O'Reilly is vetoed.
You're sure it's William and not
Oh, it could be EK. Sorry, yeah. I thought EK was gone for some reason.
Because we're on planet Earth and we're in the third round?
Yeah, and EK's still out there, yeah. Yeah, sorry. My bad.
That is funny, though. Let's see.
I'm assuming the Preds are sticking with Pareko, unless you tell me otherwise. Okay, cool.
Yeah, we can allow. We can.
All right.
We can.
I have to give you the option now. Do you want O'Reilly or Karlsson? And Evan, go ahead and pick while we wait. Okay, he wants O'Reilly. Hurricane's going with
Ovechkin, O'Reilly, and Stamkos is kind of freaking nuts, actually.
Yeah, that's definitely a filthy team.
Yeah. I'm less afraid of Nashville at the moment.
So here, Carolina has Braden Point, Jacob Slavin, and Jared Spurgeon.
So Evan is building this true to life in terms of the analytics.
Yeah. Evan is playing like money puck right now.
Yeah.
Undergun, Maple Leafs GM on the clock. There we go. We got another Av on the board.
Thought about him.
Landy.
A little too soon for me.
Dahlin, Klingberg, and Landeskog. That's an interesting team. No center, no goalie there in the first three rounds.
Yeah, that one's odd to me.
Done with defense, though.
It's odd. It's odd because Dahlin, you think to get the maximum value out of the two-way ability, he should be on your top power play unit, but then you're kind of cutting off Klingberg at the knees if you take that away from him.
Yep.
I guess you could play them together, but we've seen, over time.
Boston takes Erik Karlsson. Eichel, Hart, Carlson. Carlson, the old man vet there a little bit, but still a dangerous team. The Penguins go with Travis Konechny.
This might be one of my favorite teams so far.
Penguins.
Yeah, I love what's getting put together here.
All right, I need to do some catch up real quick. Parayko, Spurgeon, Landeskog, Carlson. For Erik Karlsson, and then Konechny. All right. There we go. We're back up to speed. Canadians, you are on the clock. So
This nice start to this team too.
Hedman and that's a mean team. Like,
yeah,
you see that team on the schedule, and nobody wants to play against them.
Yeah, that's the one where you just take Tom Wilson and you go all in, and then you try and convince us that Ryan Reeves is the center.
JT Miller did get a Hart Trophy vote.
Yeah, JT Miller was another guy that I really flip-flopped hard on. It's just kind of buying high on him right now.
Yeah.
And I'm a little blown away, honestly. Kyle Connor is still sitting there. There are a couple of wings out there that
Brent Burns surprised. Is still on the board.
Yeah, there's a reason for that.
Brent Burns going to New York.
This might be my least favorite team so far. Just because I'm having a hard time getting a feel for it.
I really like the Sasha pick. It's the next two that it's like,
well, identity-wise, I just struggle with it because all three guys are completely different.
We got half this GM draft just listening into whatever AJ says. This Kyle Connor goes to Minnesota.
Minnesota, you have to really, really like what they've done, but with Pedersen and Connor so far, I think you worry it might be a little soft at the top.
Yeah, that's true. You're pretty small. All right. Jets are on the board. I'm doing a little bit of homework here, figuring out who I should pick. So Jets go with a goalie in Tristan Jarry.
This might be the second WTF pick that we've had behind Chesterkin.
Binnington feels a little what WTF to me too.
Yeah, but Binnington I can at least buy. In his prime and has won a Stanley Cup where you're like,
true.
Like you could buy
if he really is that guy, maybe. Yeah.
There's something to buy there with Tristan Jarry. Kind of at a loss.
Kuznetsov.
This is
that's a good pick.
Yeah.
You have two Ruskies and a Quinn Hughes. Interesting. All right. Next up, Ottawa on the clock.
These are some of the teams that I think I would be afraid to play are in this part of the draft right here.
All the Central Division teams is what you're saying.
No, I really like the Aho Shabbat to start. I
Yeah,
want to see how it comes together, especially with so much talent on the right side of the defense still sitting there.
for sure.
The Matt Dumba and Jacob Trouba and Nate Schmidt, all guys that play on that right side, where it's like, oh my gosh, the guy that I wish that I wanted an excuse to take, but can no longer, in Adam Fox. Like, how much do you buy the Adam Fox hype after the year that he had, where analytically he was great, the numbers were great, the production is great, but you also know he played by far the most sheltered role of all of those young D that we always talk about, as like taking over the next wave, where you could love the analytics, but it's more like a Devon Taves, where you're like, love what he does in that role. Not going to give him a top pairing role because he might get swallowed up. He can eat greedy on that second, third pairing.
For sure.
Where you don't want to put that guy at the top of your roster if that's the case. Oh, that's got to be Dayton's team. Yeah, okay.
You knew the second you saw Sorelli.
Yeah. Well, as soon as Haskin and McAvoy and Sorelli, I'm like, this is Dayton's team. This has to be. I'm honestly surprised that he took McAvoy and didn't just wait so he could take Mackenzie Weegar at the end with the 6th pick.
That's true. The Mackenzie Weegar love is strong there.
I totally expected that was going to be his 6th pick. So Hampus Lindholm. I took Hampus Lindholm in the 4th round last year, 4th or 5th round.
I mean, this is the mid third round, so it moved up quite a bit.
Yeah, it's interesting to me that I took my defense last year was Hampus Lindholm and Alex Pietrangelo, and both of those guys are long gone now.
Yeah,
way before I never would have had a chance to build that defense that I built last year. This year, it's gone.
On to the Golden Knights. I forget that, like, I feel like the picks have to start thinning eventually, but there's just a lot of good hockey players. I mean, Giroux's kind of a C, right? I don't watch enough Flyers to actually know where he actually played. No. He's listed as C on NHL, but did he play wing this year? I legitimately don't know.
He did, but I will, in the spirit of being consistent with how we determine this, I will at least look it up.
Fair enough.
Also, I tried to continue your draft order for you, but forgot that my name would pop up and it wouldn't just be a straight list. So you can delete that.
What? Oh, I see. Appreciate you attempting to help.
Yeah. Tried to be useful. Yeah, he's not a C.
No C. You're denied.
Yeah, when two of his most common line mates are centers in Sean Couturier and Travis Konechny, you can't also make him.
Okay, yeah. that's a hard sell.
Yeah.
There goes William Karlsson.
To Vegas?
Yes.
That's a weird team.
Nylander and Karlsson. You might have a little bit of a small problem there too.
Yeah,
or certainly not playing physical anyway.
Yeah, and that's again this is where building an entire roster would help, because you could totally work around that at the bottom half of your roster. Be like, all right,
monster third line or whatever. Yeah,
we're not going to go for the Jonas Donskois. We're going to go for, we're going to go for more of like a Matt Calvert. Like we're going to go for guys that get a little nastier. I wish, to be honest with you, if we had a group that would actually sit down and do 18 rounds, I would actually like to do it someday.
If you guys know 31 people that are willing to do that.
Yeah, I think it would be 19, because I'd want backup goalies involved.
I mean, what's an extra 3 rounds at that point? Just do scratches and everything.
I wouldn't want to do that, because then you're talking like people are drafting like William Carrier.
All right, I guess I'll take Gabe Bork. I mean,
right, like at that point, dude, especially when it comes to like prospects and stuff, you and I are going to want to fill out bottom lines with prospects.
Right.
Like, I'm not putting Belmar on my team. I'm not doing it.
Is Pacioretty a wing now?
He is. Yeah, he's a left wing.
I thought so.
Forever.
I always remember him in his Canadians days still, but Pacioretty to the Avs. The Avs have Jones, Bergeron, and Pacioretty. It's a weird team.
It's a team. It's win now.
Yeah, for sure.
They gotta do it now. Pacioretty and Bergeron with the age, Jones with the contract. This is one of the groups I'm most intrigued to see how it gets built.
All right. We are on Vancouver with the 85th pick in this draft. Right,
A
little over
seventh round
halfway.
where we can take one prospect. That's interesting. That's an interesting idea.
We'll see. Alrighty. Teams are going to be made or broken in this next round, I think. In rounds 5 and 6, you kind of just have to draft whatever spots you have left. Here, you still have some flexibility. Mark-Edward Vlasic. All right. Yeah, that's right. Edouard is spelled with an O.
Yeah. I had to get used to that. Bless you. I had to get used to that with Belmar, and it still screwed me up.
Yeah. Moving on to the Panthers.
The prospect round is popular on the draft floor.
I mean, if y'all want to do it, we can, but I feel like there's going to be 5 picks, and then people are going to go,
Yeah. Yeah, all the obvious guys, all the top 5 picks from this year's draft get taken, and it's like, all right.
And there's a good 3rd round pick. Still don't have a center, but you're going Taylor Hall, Patrick Kane. Don't love it. Don't love the build.
They're both left wings, but
Oh, that's true. We could
wings are
can switch a little bit easier.
interchangeable, so I don't want to be that guy about it.
Only about centers? Okay.
It's different with centers.
I hear you.
You know, because like I said, I would have taken O'Reilly if I could. Like gone back to his Avs days and be like, he's a left wing.
I'm Oilers. I'm taking Nate Schmidt.
Did you have a weird roster?
That's fine.
You have with Malkin and Schmidt, you're setting yourself up in a very win now phase.
Yeah, I'm trying to just make a 1-team shot here because I didn't do any prep for this because I was hoping everyone was going to show up. So
more pox upon the houses of our original Oilers GM. Unless, of course, like something like an emergency actually came up, and it's not like I slept through it or something. I was worried I was going to sleep through it because I was napping on the couch before this and didn't have an alarm set. Dangerous. And I woke up and it was like 40 minutes to, and I was like, I need to wake up and start prepping for this.
Get properly ready.
Yeah, that was the first time I looked at any of this and did any prep.
All right. Washington takes Carey Price in the 3rd round. That's a good pick.
Yeah.
Scheifele, Yossi, Price. One of each. Goalie, D, forward.
I can respect that.
I need to pick an actual proper lefty now. I gotta look up. I gotta figure out what I'm doing with my next pick coming up soon. Flyers are taking Bo Horvat.
See, I said I was kind of iffy on their first two picks, but that pick I love.
Yeah,
It kind of brings them together.
true.
And you start to get that feel where it's like, okay, you got a high-end offensive defenseman and wing. Now you get a really good two-way center to kind of bring them together. It just makes the first two picks that much better. Instead of getting another guy that doesn't like fit with what they're doing or fill in any of the stylistic or skill gaps, it works really nicely. I like that one a lot.
Couturier is long gone. Goes with Victor Rask instead. Or not Victor Rask, Tuukka Rask, obviously.
I was like, Victor Rask got what?
How many? I don't know. I can't spell Tuukka's first name. That's all right.
I think that's it.
You use 2Ks? I thought there might have been 2 A's, but nope, I got it.
Nope.
Sometimes lucky.
Dude, that's how I am. Because of all the European names, when I'm writing an article, they always show up in the spell check. And they always, instead of having suggestions for on how to fix it, it just goes, no suggestion.
Nothing.
And
Like, what is this nonsense?
I'm like, thanks for nothing, dude. I'll look it up.
Brock Besser goes as well.
I was kind of hoping he would get to where I was, but I wouldn't say I had realistic hopes of that.
Yeah. All right. Columbus, Luke, you got 2 picks.
Yeah, he went Stone and Shesterkin, right?
I believe so. Yes.
The problem with Tuukka is that he's got 1 year left on his deal and he could easily retire. It's like Tuukka's had a Hall of Fame career, but he's at the end of it. You know, he's 2 years from his Henrik Lundqvist phase. He just doesn't have the contract.
Going with the youngster, Jack Hughes, off the board at the end of the 3rd round.
Actually, a little annoyed because I was going to make him my left wing. So I'm actually annoyed by that. Well played, Luke. I should have known. Of the people that were going to snipe me, Luke would be on that list. Really curious about Luke. I'm curious where he ends up in the draft and how much of a different player he ends up, because he got all the size in the family. He's 6'2".
Right.
But it's like, does he have the skill of the brothers? I don't think that he does. But I think he's going to be plenty good enough. And to be honest, I think that we overlook the fact that Jack Hughes made the USHL jump. Nobody had ever done that before.
Yeah, like literally the first guy ever to do that. So
when we talk about like weak rookie years, I think he's one of the guys that I am looking for a major breakout this next season. Not only do I think that the Devils will be a lot better, dude. F that.
not a fan of the Vrana pick. All your guys getting taken.
Yeah, both Hughes and Vrana were like, okay, I can get another left wing because Hughes or because Ehlers can be both of them. But they were both kind of guys where I was like, I think there's a decent chance they both get to me. And I would just move Ehlers to the right side, but nope.
Markstrom in the top of the fourth. Yeah, that is.
That feels like I need a goaltender, and by the time they pick again,
it'll be the dregs, kind of.
Yeah, it'll be the end.
Yep.
I worry about on that one. There will be a million left wings available, so letting that be is fine. But I worry about what the other defenseman will end up being for the Sharks next to Dougie, because right now that team has one defenseman on it.
Yeah. True. The Lightning, an interesting build here. I mean, this is the when you go one of each, you kind of have to round things out with these last three picks. And he's going with Adam Fox.
So this one I want to veto because this is two right defensemen.
Fair enough.
Because both Pietrangelo and Fox are hard righties.
All right. You've been vetoed.
You said try to if you can try to manage them.
Goes with Kadri down the middle.
Boy. We know that it works.
Yep.
I wondered if he would get drafted in this with the him being on the Avs now, because I don't think he got drafted last year.
I don't think so. He also had a very bad year last year, relatively.
He'd been Toronto's 3C, so it was like not as a little bit different role and exposure coming into these.
The Flyers took Brian Rust.
Was that for real?
I believe so.
Okay.
I mean, he can redo his pick if he wants, but I'm assuming he wants to stick with it.
All good. I wonder what. No. I can get rid of my goalie list.
You're really gonna do me like that, huh?
Throw it in the bin. Yeah, I wonder what Rust would be like if he was somewhere else.
Not sure. Vander Kane going to the Capitals at 97, knowing I was picking next, no doubt.
You have to, I mean, between Scheifele and Kane, like, they're required to take Tom Wilson next, right?
Right. Just beat everybody up.
Yeah. Be team bully.
All right. I'm taking Anthony Mantha.
All right. I won't stop you.
I know you won't.
Interesting. Why?
Because I really like him, and I feel like I need a wing goal scorer. And the way I'm like with Malkin, between Malkin and Mantha, and even Schmidt to a little bit of a lesser extent, building a big team here.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not like you got like a really young guy where you have to wait a year or two. He's right in the heart of his prime right now.
Right. Exactly. Like, that's
So
a dude you can
don't
drop
have to
in and
worry
say,
about
go
it.
score like 30 goals for me. The issue with Mantha is like, please stay healthy. But oh, you beat me to it. Suter in the fourth round. I mean, I know he ain't young, but he can keep doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
Good value there.
Yeah.
All right. Next up is Vancouver. No goalie yet in Vancouver.
Yeah, I would say roughly, I want to say maybe only half of the teams have taken one.
Yeah, there's a lot of teams still have goalie to fill, as there goes Elvis.
Probably breaking the next pick's heart.
I think it's like that. I'm not sure. Yeah, take the Columbus player right before the Avs. Well done.
Yeah. This is an interesting win now team, Jones, Bergeron, and Pacioretty. So you have to think that they'll continue building with experience.
Yeah, true. Oliver Ekman-Larsson.
You can really tell that the shine has come off of OEL.
Going all the way to the fourth round.
Yeah, because this is a guy that everybody loved to say. Everybody loved talking about how underrated he was, and they couldn't stop fawning over how forgotten he was because he played for the Coyotes, and then the Coyotes played meaningful games, and he completely didn't show up, not even a little bit. And it was
wanted to trade out, and no one was willing to pay for his contract.
Right, a top defenseman signed long term in his prime asks out, and there are two suitors.
Jake DeBrusk going to Vegas.
This continues to be a weird team for me. 4 rounds in, no defenseman, but Jake DeBrusk.
You're betting on some kind of upside there for sure, I guess. I mean, I guess you're relatively young, right?
Yeah, but I mean, you're at this point, you're saying, okay, well, I'm paying $10 million to my goaltender. I haven't taken a defenseman yet, so I'm going to make that dude earn it.
Yeah.
You're not trying to make his life easy at all yet.
True. Devo.
This is a great pick to get Turbo at this point in the draft.
Yeah, very strong.
And you look at that top line to go with Teravainen, PLD, and then Mikko Rantanen. It's a really good top line.
Yeah, you're gonna get solid minutes out of that.
Compare that top line to the top line of Vegas, which just also got completed, of Nylander, Carlson, DeBrusk.
Yep.
Like, which one do you like more? Because I'll take LA.
You're asking a lot out of Nylander, or you're asking DeBrusk to step his game up a lot.
And William Karlsson, we've seen William Karlsson's numbers have dropped as their 1C 3 straight seasons, even though the guys around him have gotten better.
Yep.
So you're asking a lot out of all of those guys to suddenly be leading men, to be fronting your entire forward core. But again, this is why you take Vasilevsky in the first round, is because you say, well, I'm going to take the best goaltender in the world who signed long-term and in his 20s, and I don't have to worry about this.
Create a team that can score 3 goals a night and win every game 3-2.
Right. And, you know, those guys, DeBrusk helps with the conversation that we were having with their last pick, which was they might be a little bit soft.
Yep, that's true. Forsberg going off to New Jersey, following the PK Subban track.
Yeah, Jersey's. I like Anthony Cirelli. Right now, Dayton's done a really good job of rebuilding the Nashville Predators.
Yep.
You have a really mediocre 1C. You have 2 great defensemen, and then you have Philip Forsberg on your top line.
And nothing in goal.
Yeah, right now he's going to need Prime Pecorine to bail him out of this.
Yep.
It's sort of interesting.
We have a believer in Mackenzie Blackwood in Ottawa.
Mackenzie Blackwood was the guy that I spent the entire draft believing I was going to take last year, and somebody snagged him a couple picks before my last selection. And I ended up with Thatcher Demko because he was the last guy left.
Thatcher Demko looking pretty okay at the moment.
Yeah, well, I'm sure somebody's had their eye on him, and now that I've said his name out loud, it's like,
He's
oh my
gone.
god, AJ. Yeah. But Blackwood's interesting because, again, like trying to tie that team together.
Who's a proper lefty? I gotta still find a proper, or not a proper lefty.
So this is interesting. So Michael goes Adam Fox and Quinn Hughes.
Adam Fox already got taken.
Didn't we veto that?
Oh, did we veto it? Oh yeah, you're right. We did. My bad. You're good. Because it's
so
the
Adam
Petrangelo,
Fox.
Yeah,
Adam Fox and Quinn Hughes, I think is comical because that's one where you're like physicality is going to be a serious problem.
very, very small, very offensively minded. Well, Quinn Hughes has the defensive side a little bit better, but Fox and Hughes are fighting for the PP1 spot against each other, kind of there.
Yeah, Fox is certainly more physically inclined than I think
Hughes, sure.
No, without a doubt. He's probably on McCarr's level. But the question is, again, McCarr had top competition last year. Adam Fox did not. What happens when Adam Fox is elevated to the top position?
Yep.
You know, right now you have to love that Chicago again. He's basically recreating what Chicago actually is, which is a team that can push the puck one direction. But when it starts to go the wrong direction, what are you going to do? He also has the worst face-off guy in the entire league at center in Kuznetsov.
On to the Jets. No clear path here. He's got both wingers and a D to pick. Let's see. This is again. This is when you pick one of each position. The fourth pick is kind of starts to shape your roster.
Yeah. It's got to be an identity pick.
Yep.
Boy, I'm looking at that Minnesota roster and I'm thinking, golly, that's good. That team has to feel great about itself. And that's the 16th pick. That's the exact spot I picked in last year, and I loved my team.
Going with the mini goal scorer himself and loser of fights to Sam Girard.
Oh, man. That one hurts me a little.
AJ wanted that one. AJ wanted that one.
Yeah. He was a guy I had my eye on. Yeah, for sure.
Freddie Anderson, good value there, I think, in goal to Minnesota. I don't know who he is. And Vlad Tarasenko going to the Rangers.
So this is an interesting one because he needs to make another pick because that guy's always hurt now.
Yeah, right. Now he needs to replace that dude.
Now that he's made his IR pick. And look at that top line, though. Kachuk, Barkov, and Tarasenko. I haven't loved this team as it's been getting built, but assuming health, that top line is such a handful.
It's pretty filth.
And it's a lot of size, and it's a lot of physicality, and it's a lot of annoyance, but a lot of skill that really can come into play, too. And then you throw Brent Burns, like, flying up the ice with it, and this team is...
I do wonder a little bit with Tarasenko and Burns on the same team. Are there enough pucks to shoot?
Well, and we haven't really figured out what Brady is yet either.
Yeah, that's true.
Offensively, where it's like, okay, is he going to have enough? Is he going to get enough puck touches there, even on their top line, for him to really develop and flourish? Because he's going to be playing a much more complementary type of role next to these established studs.
Yeah.
I don't know that I love this lineup in terms of winning a lot of games, but I can tell you that's a lineup I would not look forward to facing.
Would certainly be fun to watch too, I think.
I think they would just make life so miserable.
Well, the Canadians are going to make life extra miserable.
I mean, so JT Miller goes back to center then is the point here?
I'm assuming.
Because JT Miller, and I'm fine with it because JT Miller played center in Tampa Bay, but he did not play center last year.
I mean, you're the final decider here.
I'm good with it. I have
All
no objections because again, JT Miller, he's played all 3 forward spots in his career. That was part of his appeal. Part of why the Avs were involved in those trade talks.
I don't know if the Canadians are going to win a cup, but they're certainly going to break whoever they play.
Yeah, kind of like with the Rangers. I don't know that they're going to win that game, but the other team is going to walk out of it
Feeling sad.
miserable. They're just going to be thankful that it's over, regardless of win or loss.
Corpusalo off the board as well as goalies. Maybe
Interesting
starting
that
to thin out a little bit.
both goaltenders from Columbus go.
Yep. Both of the tandem
Both
there
of them go, and in an Avs draft, Philip Grubauer has not.
has not gone yet. Yeah.
Yeah. Although I don't know. I don't know this, but I have a sneaky suspicion like it's coming.
Probably.
It won't be with this pick, obviously.
I sure hope not.
But again, you got to start to fill it out. Erik Karlsson's a little on the old side. He's not what he quite was. He's ultra expensive. You got Jack Eichel. Right now, you're feeling like this is a little too. This is a little too Buffalo for him.
With a K.
I think it's a K.
Yeah.
No, it's a K.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll look it up. It's fine.
I think Jacob is a K.
Oh, Jacob, you're probably right. Chikrin is it like that? There we go. Dude, I should just be copy pasting all these names. It would save me so much trouble. All right, we figured it out, and there you go. AJ speaks it into existence every time.
Yeah.
My Yuki's half broken, so
Chikrin and Karlsson are both righties.
are they?
I think so.
I mean,
No, Chikrin's a lefty.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Huh.
The more you know.
His whole career, I've had this thing. No, I know. Of course he's a lefty. All right, analytics team.
Yep. Make your money puck pick.
Yeah, who's the guy?
Demko.
Oh wow. This was my 6th round pick last year. So boy, what one playoff series will do.
Yep.
I can't imagine that he would be getting drafted in this draft anywhere close to this without that playoff series.
Yeah, I would imagine not.
Ooh, little goaltender run.
Sure, Demko. Who is it? I'm not in the podium.
Ben
right
Bishop.
now. Bishop. Dude, Bishop there is a good pick. I know the injury problems and all that, but
For sure. That would be, again, if we were doing like a full draft here, this would be one where they would have to invest in a backup.
Yeah,
sooner
pretty
than other
early
teams.
on for sure.
But feeling really good otherwise.
And
This is a strange pick
For me. Sam Girard as who's now their number 1D.
yeah, that feels early for Gerard for
Yeah.
sure.
Knowing that limitation there.
Yep. Buffalo, you're on the clock if you're watching the stream. I'll link it in a second. There you go. That team, Calgary, one of the teams that does not have a goalie still. Ooh, that's a quietly good pick.
I thought about waiting on the center.
And just seeing if he falls.
Yeah.
I got Cale Makar and Kirby Dach on the same team.
Well, and now you have to really like the Gensel. I think Gensel with Doc.
Yeah, that fits nicely.
Yeah, that those together, and then you have Makar, and then you're banking on it being Arizona Darcy Kemper.
Yeah.
Because if it is, you're off to a really good start, and you're going to be a pain in the ass for a long time. So kudos to Brad Francis for building a team that I really like.
St. Louis on the clock with 3 forwards taken. Got to go defense or goalie here.
Don't you take my guy.
AJ's up next, so.
Okay, we're good.
Taking Varley. I think that's good value here, too. Dude was just in a conference finals. All right, AJ. Your guy's supposedly still here.
Yeah, I'm making sure he's not been taken.
Double checking. Doing his homework.
Okay. For my left side, I want Jonas Brodin.
Sounds like an AJ pick.
Ooh, I love my defense.
All right. AJ picked. Coyotes are up. You're already typing. So I'm assuming you're just going to go ahead and pick. Amy Ben. To go with Crosby and Marchand.
It's 2 left wings.
I mean, are we vetoing that or not?
I would mostly just say, are you sure?
Confirmed you want to play someone on their off wing?
Yeah, because it's both Marchand and Ben are left wings. Sure, one of them's listed also as a righty, but
probably
we know Radulov plays on the right side and Pasternak plays on the right side in Boston. Okay, yeah, he's good with it.
Okay, cool. Ooh, Sam Reinhart. I like that pick.
Son of a bitch.
There's a D in there somewhere.
There's not.
Oh, he's the one without it? Okay.
Those are the Reinhart brothers don't, but it's Cole that has the D.
Oh, it's Cole. The D. All right, got it.
Phrasing. All right, this really weird Anaheim team.
Pull it all together.
Yeah,
right
gotta
here.
Make some choices here.
Is the play that just Connor McDavid can carry anyone to points? Is that the plan here?
So far between McDavid and Riley, I think they're going to score plenty of points.
Fair.
It's just.
But I'm saying, do you get your second D here because you just put whoever on the wings with McDavid?
Yeah. That's got to be the temptation, right? I mean, you got your goaltender.
Yeah.
You should try and help him out because right now you have an iffy goaltender and 2 guys who don't play any defense whatsoever.
Need something solid.
Yeah. Like, this is where, if there was ever going to be a justification for taking Nicholas Jomerson, or a guy like that who's like only defense, like this is the time to do it.
I need to start looking up who I'm gonna take.
We should use Sean Tierney's lineup builder.
Yeah.
And put all of these in
and see what it spits out. Yeah.
Yeah, see which rosters ended up the best.
Reuniting McDavid with the old Erie Otter buddy. Burakovsky.
A lot of Avs have gone.
Yeah, it's true. A lot of Avs have gone.
Be curious if Saad ends up on one of these rosters.
That's 5 forwards have gone, 2 defensemen, and a goalie. So 8 Avs have gone so far. Nuge in the 4th. Are we calling Nuge a winger though?
I would, yeah. He did a lot of that.
All right. I mean, yeah, with the 2 big guns there, makes sense enough. I'm not going to fight it. Go again, Detroit. I definitely did not get all of the picks on the Discord list, but that's okay. Let's see who else was in here. Jamie Benn. And Reinhardt. So, this is where you get down to it.
Yeah, sorry, I was
Yeah, no, you're good.
I've got my second to last pick coming up, and I know who my last pick is, so I'm not worried about it.
Victor Olofsson, huh?
I respect that one.
I mean, if you believe in the consistency, it's always the case.
Yeah, for sure.
Ducks, you're back up at it.
A defenseman and a wing.
Yep.
So what else does wow, so Detroit has Torrey Krug as their only D.
Yep.
Interesting.
So the Ducks they're praying Jordan Binnington is in God mode. Because Binnington's going to have to carry that defense all the way.
I think Burakovsky next to McDavid, it would be electric and a ton of fun.
I think so too, but they're not. No one on that team plays defense. Not a single one of those guys.
Well, and like Riley and D'Angelo are going to be total disasters defensively.
Right. Exactly.
So I mean, it's a totally fair concern. Like this is the kind of like when you build the rest of this roster, you're just like defensive specialists only, please.
Yeah, for sure. If you're filling it out. Matthias Ekholm going to Dallas. Matt Murray going to Arizona.
I think Ekholm's a lefty.
Is he? We may have to run it back, Dallas. Let's see.
Hold on. Just going to do the quick
cursory check. He does shoot left.
Yeah, I definitely knew he was left-handed, but I'm pretty sure he plays on the left side, as does Sergachev. Yeah, we need to veto that.
Vetoing.
Dallas got to take another guy.
Evan Evan says Serg plays right. So we might be wrong.
I'll double check just because I'm already here.
All right. He's checking. AJ, do you know who you're taking?
Yeah, Sergachev played his two partners are both right-handed and play the right side, and Chernak and Shattenkirk. So Sergey,
that's fine. He's taking Trouba instead.
Okay, no doubt about that one.
Yeah,
that dude threw a fit in Winnipeg because he wasn't playing the right. Need a big bounce back from him.
All right, AJ, make your pick.
Oh,
he's not ready. He's not ready.
I'm taking Capo Keko.
Going with the youngster Kako. I like it. I like it. Who's next? Blues. Blues.
I like my team. Don't like it as much as last year's, but I like it. Yeah, this is the St. Louis. Totally the opposite of how St. Louis actually builds. They need D.
Ryan McDonough.
McDonough plays on the right, but that's only because his partner is Victor Hedman.
He did also announce him as a lefty, so
yeah, and he played left in New York.
Yeah, he came prepared. He was like, "I got this defense ready for him on the left."
Yeah.
Adam Pelech going to Buffalo. Pelech, I guess.
Pelech.
Is it Pelech or Pelech? I don't know.
It's Pelech.
All right.
He's mad overrated by Isles fans. They think he's like the linchpin to their defense.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's got good underlying numbers, but they don't ask him to do
a ton. Yeah,
a ton. They don't really ask any of their pairings to do a ton. They kind of roll pairings pretty easily. But it says something. He was important to their run. If you're gonna make him a top pairing guy, there's a decent chance you end up disappointed.
There goes Drusif Dowdy.
Yeah, this Calgary lineup was amazing in 2010.
Seriously.
I mean, he got both Stamkos and Doughty. Those guys were drafted 1-2 in their draft year.
Definitely winning the 2010 Cup. Plus a 12-year-old Samuel Girard, I guess, but
yeah. Unfortunately for them, he doesn't grow any.
Panarin, Wheeler, and Dylan Larkin for Nashville.
Let me check on
you. Are you comfortable with Larkin there? Yeah.
I was asked about Meyer. I think Meyer's a right wing, but I'll check to see if last year any of that changed. We'll just see. Oops. Misclicks all over the place. Who does he play for? Those baddies.
Okay. He played for
Meyer's a righty.
Cool.
Or a right wing, I should say. was pretty confident in that one.
In any case, Team Money Puck is up.
That Predators roster is so interesting.
One more D to fill it out. We'll see. Brendan Gallagher to the Hurricanes, excuse me. And then Nico Hischier to Toronto.
You know, if you're going to wait 5 rounds to take your top center,
That's
you
not
walk
bad.
out with
Yeah.
Nico Hischier.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, Gallagher's first name is Brendan
With an E.
with an R.
I missed an R. Bendon. He's Bendon Gallagher.
I will tell you, if I wasn't wanting the Kakao pick, Kevin Fiala was my other guy.
Well, there you go.
To be honest, I just don't trust it.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. We're getting down to the end of it here. Penguins are on the clock, and I need to still figure out who I'm picking in a little bit.
It's funny how the first round everybody had their picks good, like ready to go.
Yep.
And now we're at the point where this is going to take longer than last year's.
Tyler Bertuzzi. Everyone boo this man.
Oof. Really banking on the fact that what he did in top 6 minutes on a terrible team playing in every situation imaginable was legit.
Yeah.
But I guess if you're drafting him there, you're planning on playing him there. So
True.
And with Konechny and Pasternak, it's a slight upgrade from what he had in Detroit. Not to bag on what Detroit has at the top of that roster, because the top of that forward core is actually pretty solid. But depth-wise, they're atrocious. That's what killed them. It blows my mind that Matt Dumba made it this long. But there's way more good right EDs than you would think.
Was wondering when he was going to go.
Like,
Master Dumba.
He got Matt Dumba in the 5th round. I got Ryan Ellis in the 2nd round. Which one of us got better value?
Yeah, that's definitely Matt Dumba.
So, I mean, Ryan Ellis is the better player, but which one's the better value?
Right. Exactly.
You know?
When you're building a whole lineup.
Yeah. I got the guy on the expensive contract, too.
Well, I mean, contracts are what they are to a certain extent.
I tell you, really, the only thing about that Canadiens lineup that I don't like is JT Miller.
Yeah,
I
think that's the weakest link of it for sure.
A center with a little more nastiness to him, because if you're going to go with Hedman, Kachuk, Wilson,
I mean, you swap JT Miller for Nazem Kadri, and how are you feeling about that? Like,
right, exactly. You know, and a guy whose name that we haven't even said, but Andrei Kopitar and Nick Backstrom are both still there.
True, the older guys, but
yeah, they're a little bit older centers, but
Hall of Fame caliber level players.
You put Andrei Kopitar in the middle of those guys, and I like what they have to bring a lot more than with JT Miller.
Yeah,
this Rangers team continues to confound me.
Yeah, Saros, I mean, he's a league average goaltender, I guess.
Could be, I mean,
you're hoping there's something there, right?
2 U's, 1 S.
Oh, my bad. Jesse. Good old Jesse Saros.
And then arguably my favorite team in the whole thing. I love what Minnesota has done. I think that team looks so good right now. And that seeing Brett Pesce pick
Right up
continue
AJ's
that.
alley. Yeah.
That's super good.
Pandering at this point.
I mean, you've got Pedersen as your 1C, and then you have Provorov and Pesce as your top pairing. That they can do anything, and then you have Freddie Anderson in goal. Freddie Anderson should have an E instead of an O.
Should have a what?
An E instead of an O.
Oh, it's E. All right. Oh, you're right. Yeah. E. There we go. Jets have taken John Marino.
If the weakest link on that Minnesota roster is Kyle Connor, they're doing just fine.
That's pretty darn good. Yeah.
Guys coming off a 30-goal season.
John Marino's another one where I'm really curious to see,
because everybody loved him analytically, right? Like they were like, "Oh, the real rookie of the year is John Marino," and it's like, all right, we got it.
It's not, but sure.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, like yeah, the defensive metrics are great. You know he doesn't drive any offense at all, right?
He's going with the old man math in nets.
That's an interesting pick.
This is really just he's actually building Chicago.
Yeah.
Swap out Math for Crawford and call it good.
You wonder if Crawford gets taken in this.
Yeah, I was curious about that too.
Trying to figure out Dayton's next pick.
To take Uyghur and play him at forward.
That's right.
How did Keller play any left wing this year? I don't know.
He's listed as left and right, I believe.
All right, sure. We'll say yes. All right. Clayton Keller.
Yeah, I thought about Keller in the Kakao spot as well. But I'm I don't trust that the high end is going to be there for him to be on a top line.
Yeah, that's gonna be a veto on Uyghur at forward.
Yeah. He's going to take Alex Tuck, watch. This is the other guy I was wondering about.
Who?
That's funny. Oliver Bjorkstrand.
Okay.
Sorry, Dayton. I do not like your top line. I tell you what, if that's your second line, I love it. Interesting. Holtby trying to turn back the clock here.
LA taking an older goaltender with a core very young forward side. I guess Tavo's not that young anymore, but he's prime.
Going with Turtle Time himself. It's got to be the best story of the offseason. Braden Holtby stuck at the border with his turtles. How ridiculous is it that he has to claim those as exports?
Right. What are you exporting? Turtles.
Yeah. Pet turtles, yeah. So this Vegas team I've been pretty harsh on, but I'm, and waiting till I will remain harsh on them. Tyson Berry pick.
Rough.
You are poor Andre Vasilevsky. He's going from playing behind that Tampa Bay team to that, and it's like, good luck, pal.
You got to do it all on your own now.
Yeah.
All right, ads. Bring it home. You still need a goalie. For a fan base very upset with their goaltending situation. You've waited.
Yeah. Take Frankie.
Don't do it.
The drama as we watch is typing, and we're all just sitting here.
Typing, yeah. I
already took him.
Who I forgot to put on the list. I know I forgot someone way the hell up here.
You have him on there.
Okay. My pick number is wrong. I definitely missed someone on the Discord list, but it's probably like 80 picks back now, so it doesn't matter. The Photoshop things have all the picks, which is what we'll use for the shows next week. Peter Mrazek in net.
Meh.
We're betting on him to get hot at the right time, basically.
Yeah, I always say that. Every year Carolina goes in with Mrazek, and I'm like, meh. And they're fine.
Yep.
Like, the goaltending isn't the reason that they go out every year in the postseason. So this Vancouver team has some real disaster potential to it.
Could be ugly.
Marc-Edouard Vlasic is completely cratered. Elvis Merzlikins just has a really small sample size. Line A and Zibanejad, and now Elias Lindholm. I mean, you have real bust potential there. It could all work perfectly.
Yep.
And you're feeling great. And Merzlikins is the guy that we saw for that extended stretch last year. But if he's not,
they're in deep trouble. Yeah.
Yeah, and they need any kind of bounce back from Vlasic.
Yep.
He's been horrific, and he's signed throughout his 30s for over like $7 million.
I mean, you're taking that guy hoping he's the guy he was 3 years ago, kind of. But
yeah, pretty much. It's just been such a shocking
decline for him. Yeah.
All right, what do we have next?
Panthers are on the clock currently.
No center yet.
They need a
Kane,
center.
Hall, Suter, and Hellebuck. That's a really good team, though.
Give me a shooting center between those two.
Oh, yeah, he took Monahan.
Oh, did I miss it? My bad. I feel I'm
That's a shooting center.
It's true, but adding him to that list, I feel like you've created a team that's just going to all-out brawl with itself at all times. I feel the same way you feel about Hellebuck and Kane is how I feel about Hall and Monahan. No justification, but everyone on that roster is just going to fight each other.
That'd be awesome.
All right. I'm up. I'm taking Oscar Klefbom.
Even though he's hurt?
Yep. Even though he's hurt.
All right.
Going to come back just in time for the playoffs and be a key to my cup run.
He's not.
Is he that bad?
I think he's out for the year.
I thought he was supposed to be back by like June. That's okay. My team can be bad. I'll allow it. Tyler Toffoli.
So, Kane, Scheifele, and Toffoli.
Yeah.
I'd be curious how they play together. I really don't know. With Carey Price in net and Roman Yossi on the back end, Holy shit, that's an expensive group right there.
Not cheap for sure.
Like Kane is at 7 million, Carey Price is at 10.5, Yossi's at 9. Toffoli at 4.25 is nice. Scheifele on his 6.1 is nice. And I think Scheifele has like 4 years left, so I really like what they've done there in Washington. I think that's a really good roster. I think Ekholm is. The guy who tried to take him, we vetoed.
Yeah.
But I'll double check. Yeah, Ekholm is available.
There you go. You can have Ekholm if you want him. We baited you. Hampus Lindholm has definitely been taken, so you're getting Ekholm.
Hampus might have been the one that you missed, by the way.
Is it? Is it not in there?
Yeah.
Okay. It's I 100% remember it getting taken. So
yeah, he is.
All right. I'll just add him in there.
Nate Schmidt's already been taken as well.
Yeah, I took Nate Schmidt. You can have Ekholm. Okay, cool. Oh, Lightning tried to take Nate Schmidt. Nate Schmidt gone. Yep.
Okay, you put Hampus Lindholm in the thing on the draft board.
Yeah, I just did.
No,
I understand. I was just adding it so he'd be on there. I'm adding Ekholm as well. Palat. Okay.
It's an interesting roster too.
There goes another Av. Sharks take Devon Taves.
Taves and Dougie would be an interesting. I wonder how. I would be really curious to see how Taves would handle a hard top pairing job like that next to a guy like Dougie who just chews up minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, and we'll have our first finished roster here.
Yeah. Luke, finish off your roster. You need.
So he's got
defense.
Stone on the right, Vrana on the left, Hughes in the middle, Shesterkin in net.
And he
has
needs
no defenders.
2 defensemen.
3 Avs defenders have been taken. Take Connor Timmins.
Chris Letang.
I mean, at this point in the draft, that's
not bad at all. Yeah,
that's perfect value. Like, I like that he shouted it too. Like he doesn't have a microphone,
yeah.
So he's sitting on the actual draft floor, just like shouting picks at the stage.
Chris Letang, we take him.
All right, what else? Who's your other pick, Luke? Who's going to play on the left side of your defense? Boy, this is a real futures bet. And then you have Mark Stone and Chris Letang. Like Shesterkin, Hughes, and Vrana are all like, well, I guess Shesterkin and Hughes are very much futures bets. Vrana's right in the middle of his breakout right now. Stone and Letang are hard.
Rasmus Sandin. That's his other D.
How many NHL games did he get into?
More than one. It's like 16 or something.
Yeah, I just
more than that.
I just don't remember how many he actually snuck into. 28.
Wow, that many.
Yeah, see, I thought it was more like the 16 too. I thought that was I like that pick. It kind of he's so my only real problem here is that Letang and Stone are win now propositions. You've got to do it now with those guys. Otherwise, I love the future tilt here.
Sharks are taking Marchessault to finish off their roster.
Just to see if you can spell it.
He spelled it right, so I can cheat off of his. Doesn't fit on my board, though. That's a minor problem.
Just call him John.
Johnny. There you go.
Nice. Very hockey of you.
Lightning are taking Darnell Nurse. There goes Crawford.
Boy, this Philly team is just... Hope there's a backup plan.
For all the broken parts.
Yeah, in case Crow doesn't work out.
Capitals need
A defenseman. Take Connor Timmins, you cowards. Lots of typing going on. I have a goalie in my last one, so I have to get off the sidelines and take a goaltender.
Kevin Shattenkirk.
It's crazy. Some of the high priced guys that haven't been taken yet, like
there are still some out there.
Like Cam Fowler, Rasmus Ristolainen, Ryan Pulock hasn't been taken. Jeff Petrie hasn't been taken. No Mark Giordano.
Yep.
Keith Yandel hasn't been taken. Shea Weber.
I'm up, and I'm
It's like-
taking Thomas Tatar, by the way.
It's like everybody just was like, old defenseman? No thanks. This is where Florida should take Shea Weber and put him with Ryan Suter.
The old man pairing.
Yeah. Run back the Nashville defense from 10 years ago.
Oh.
If Cygnus is upset, you've made a good pick.
I make good picks occasionally. I bombed my draft by taking Clefbaum, but the rest of that is pretty win now.
You just really love what he brings to the locker room.
Totally. Great presence.
That's right. Don't need a defensive coach this year.
There you go.
Clefbaum's got it. Oh man, I'm
Damon Severson. You were waiting on that?
no. My defense is set. I'm good.
Oh, you need goalie, right? Yeah. Who's next? Vancouver. Pollock taken? No, I don't think he was.
Yeah, just now.
Yeah, true.
Vlasic and Pulock is interesting because let me tell you, I have no idea what Ryan Pulock looks like as an NHL player away from Barry Trotz.
Yeah, the Trot system. Definitely.
Oh, I'm Cygnus. I don't think so. I think Fox is a better pick than Pulock. Pulock's offense is almost entirely revolving around the fact that he has a Shea Weber-esque slap shot. It's not very accurate though, but it's an absolute missile when he gets that thing going. When he tees it up, it's crazy. But outside of that, Adam Fox is a much better play driver in the modern NHL than what Pulock does. Defensively, I don't know that there's a huge difference. Pulock has a tougher job with the Islanders, but again, with the Trotz system, none of those guys really excel.
I seriously considered Perron for my team too. If you're
This
winning
is a
now,
really win now group.
Yeah.
Perron, Pacioretty, and Bergeron is a pretty good top line.
You want to? It is a very good top line if you're trying to win right now.
And then
right
OEL and
now.
Seth Jones on defense is like
solid.
Perron's great because the cap. He's only got $4 million on his
cheap.
deal.
He's cheap. Yep.
So when you were building a full roster,
you could round it out. Vegas, finish off this strange team that nobody seems to understand.
Yeah, this is where you just go with Keith Yandel, right?
He says he'll continue that. He's going with Old Man Chara.
You're gonna go with a guy that's not signed. Could have gone with Keith Yandel. Could have gone with Vince Dunn. But all right, you get 1 year out of him. I wonder what Zdeno Chara would look like in those gold jerseys, the ones that are like sparkly
just
gold.
A giant mustard pillar, like
just a giant wall of shiny gold.
I knew someone would take Pionk.
Yeah, it was not going to be me. That's my number one regression candidate on the year.
Yeah.
That he got drafted ahead of Josh Morrissey is a travesty. Had I been allowed to take more defensemen, I would have taken Morrissey in my last pick. Build out a defense of Ellis, Brodin, and Morrissey. It's a good start to a defense.
Feeling good. What do we get? Someone believed in Bob. I mean, that's pretty good value in the 6th. If you're hoping for a bounce back there.
Somebody's got to take the chance, right? There's only so many goaltenders, only so many jobs.
Yep.
That's a really big chance, though.
Yeah, if he flops.
6 years left to go.
Yeah.
At $10 million.
Chabot and Morrissey both play left.
Yes, they do. Oh, whoops. I accidentally just turned my headset down by stretching. Those touch controls are weird, man.
I don't even have. Mine's too old to have touch. Ooh. Noah Dobson, the youngster. AJ loves that pick.
You know, the guy that I would like even more than that is probably Bouchard. But that's putting that dude next to Chabot. I mean, poor Mackenzie Blackwood if this thing doesn't work.
Yeah, if they don't live up to the hype.
Yeah, because Aho and Keller are both pretty decent defensive players. Aho's a little overrated. People talk about him like he's Barkov, and he's just not. But not like total sieves here.
Yeah. All right, Cygnus.
Yeah, need a left wing. Although I guess if you play Kuznetsov at left wing, you could take a center. He could take Backstrom and Kuznetsov.
God, that would be silly.
And then put that with having Backstrom with Svechnikov would be so nasty.
He's taking sod.
That's pretty funny.
Do it for the memes.
Somebody should send this to Brandon Sod, and he'll be like, "Where do I land? Where do I end up?" And he's like, "Oh, right back in Chicago, huh?" That's what 10 Avs that have been selected.
Yeah, that makes 10.
So more than half of their regular roster just went.
of their their entire top 6, their top 2D, their top 3D,
Yeah.
and their starting goaltender all went.
All we need now is Eric Johnson and Pavel Francouz, and we're good. All I'm saying, I still need to take a goalie. Hey, buddy. How are you, puppers? Hi.
We got a puppy. We need
Yeah,
puppy
we do.
cam.
I don't know if he wants that.
No, not in the limelight.
He's shy. Every time you try and take a picture of him, he gives you the saddest face in the world.
Rex doesn't like to get pictures taken of him either. Is Drew taken? I don't know. Someone said he was.
Yo, just chill out, Harrison. Why don't you just put that away? All right.
I don't think Drew's been taken. I think you're good there.
Yeah, somebody tried to take Drew as
And
the
it was
center.
vetoed. Yeah. That's right. All right, you can have Drew.
Hi, bud.
All right. Final 14 picks. 15 picks.
We're in the home stretch. This is slowed significantly.
Yeah, people are like, oh God, who's left?
Yeah.
I love that pick.
Yeah, of course you do. For a top line pick, I definitely don't.
I think it's excellent. I mean, he's definitely the weakest player.
The fact that he's
team, but
yeah, the fact that he's that weak link, like, it's solid.
Yeah. Rangers are taking Noah Hannafin. All right.
Holy lordy. Maybe that guy lives up to it someday.
You say better bring his A game with Burns and Hannafin.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Like I like the forward core, getting over, ignoring when guys were taken.
Yeah, sure.
Stuff. I really like that top line and the misery that it's going to cause and the goals that it can score. But Hannafin and Brent Burns with UC Saros, you are rolling the dice.
Yep.
That's a big chance there. Canadiens are up and they need a goaltender. Sagan is still around, yeah. Sagan, Backstrom, Kopitar.
Oh God. 11 abs. AJ's face said it all on that one, I think.
Well, I still need to take a goaltender.
Were you waiting on Francouz? Were you going to snipe him?
That one hurts me a little.
Uh-oh.
But I think my pick is coming up pretty soon. So
you got like 6, 7, 8 more picks, but yeah.
And this guy doesn't have, or this guy has a goal. The Penguins have a goalie, so
he's taking Risto to round out his D.
Even in a make believe world, Rasmus Ristolainen ends up on a top pairing. Risto, you're gonna want to. He has a T in his name.
Oh yeah. I tried to put a T in there. I swear.
You almost had it, man. I was rooting for you.
See, this is why I do video content.
So this team, these guys all have goaltenders. Calgary and Buffalo don't have goaltenders. I was surprised when Dayton didn't take Buchnevich.
I mean, Buchnevich is good, but a top liner.
Yeah.
I gave this up like a while ago. You know what? It's fine. We don't need to keep up that Discord list.
It's mostly useful for us trying to figure out who's been selected, but
yeah,
I think
we've got the guys that just got picked, and there's like 10 picks left. Y'all can figure it out.
Yeah. We've got a full list, and
all right, Maple Leafs. You need a forward. Specifically, a winger. Oshie.
Strongly considered him with my Kakao pick as well.
I like Kako better.
That's the thing is, if I'm trying to win it right now, Oshie's a much better pick. But
Yeah.
if I'm considering 5 years, I'm taking the chance with Kakao. I don't care what kind of rookie year he had. I'll roll the dice. Hi, bud. Do you need to go out? We're almost done. I should show you the sad face I'm getting right now.
The biggest frown.
It's the saddest of faces.
Jason Zucker to finish off Money Puck.
Really like the defense. I don't like anything else about that team.
And then Josh Morrissey goes to the Predators. Still not sure about him on the top pair, but definitely good value. All right, Calgary. You need a goaltender. About to snipe AJ right here.
It's possible. I've got 2 on my list, so
Okay.
you can't take them both.
What does the Blues need a goalie? No.
No.
So you'll get one.
Well, oh yeah, that's right, because Buffalo has a goalie. I was thinking. Apparently, I don't have reading comprehension.
I guess Ottinger does technically have an NHL game.
Well, that's one of the guys on my list.
Alrighty. AJ's down to his last goalie choice.
It's okay.
But he'll be there. Yeah, he'll be there.
I knew I was taking one of I was Ottinger or the guy that I'm going to take, and then these 2 teams in front of me can't stop me from taking him. So I'm set.
Guryanov, huh? Doc Gensel Guryanov top line. That's interesting. Guryanov with Doc could be filthy.
He can't do anything except shoot.
Right, but Doc can feed pucks.
Yeah.
All right, Blues. You need a defenseman.
This is a really veteran team. Johnny Gaudreau is the youngest guy on that team.
That is weird. Jeff Petrie. AJ, pick your goalie.
Do I have to?
You do.
Okay. I'm taking Cal Peterson.
Wow. All right. The 2 P's, 2 T's, or 2 S's?
Neither. One of each.
One of each, really? It is.
EN.
That's an E2. Jesus Christ. All right.
That's how well known he is.
Yep. Essa Lindell. Top pairing. Ooh. Crosby Marchand is so strong, and then Arizona falls off a little bit. Stars are up.
Gorgiev was the other guy that I considered, but I just don't think he's very good.
You just really wished that Spencer Knight got an NHL game last year.
Yeah, I mean, if I could take any goaltender, like I'm building, like it would be either Askarov or Knight.
Yeah.
Ottinger was third on that list, and then after that, I think Peterson is just being wasted because they're tied to Jonathan Quick's anchor of a contract. Evan is upset with my hating on his roster. His defense is really good, and Braden Point rocks. Everything else, I just don't think it's very good. Like, Brendan Gallagher is a fine player. He's a 30-goal scorer. I don't know what he does when he's on the top line. Jason Zucker, again, like he's a really good second-line player. And that's kind of that.
Aiden Schwartz to round out Dallas and Chris Kreider to round out the Ducks.
The Ducks team is wild.
Yeah, that team, it goes forward real good. All right, Eddie, finish it off here. We've been live for almost 3 hours, so I think we're going to take a pass on the prospect round.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
I don't know who y'all wanted him to take, but he took Jake Muzzin instead.
It's weird that Torrey Krug and Jake Muzzin as like a top pairing, even in 2020. I think that's fine.
Oh, you wanted him to take Colin Wilson. I see. He had his chance to draft Colin Wilson. Went with Victor Olofsson instead. All right. So that is it. We have 31 starting lineups for 31 teams. Thank you, everyone who participated. We really appreciate all y'all coming out, doing this with us for 2.5 hours.
Oh, hold on. First of all, Brendan Gallagher is not in the top. He's 5th on Montreal in ice time. So all this sassiness and chat about what line Brendan Gallagher plays on, he averages 17 minutes a night. So get the hell out.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you everyone for participating. We appreciate all y'all who came out. We'll be doing a show on our favorite teams on Monday or Tuesday, sometime next week, once we get into all these and break them all down. So if you picked a good team or if you pandered to AJ, like I know at least one team did, you'll probably get on the show tomorrow. We might do some other stuff. We might look at the most interesting teams or the worst teams. We'll see. On that note, we're going to wind this broadcast down and hope y'all have a good rest of your Sunday night, and we'll talk to you guys tomorrow.